morning, sir. Forgot your receipt.
Checkout lines. Who needs them?
Have a nice day.
This is the future of e-business.
So how did we get to where we are today? I think a lot of us were inspired by Bitcoin arriving on the scene. And I think we're seeing play out a set of events that we've seen with other technologies before. When the car first came on the scene, there was the Ford Model T, and it was just a car that, just one product. And over time, as that product matured, it became modified to be specific to different use cases. We had trucks to carry heavy goods, sports cars, and we had lighter vehicles, and a whole broad array of products, all aimed at the same technology, but aimed at different use cases. And I think we're seeing the same thing today. We have this new technology, blockchain, and we have all of these different use cases that people want to apply that technology to: payments, securities, reconciliation, trade finance. You probably are well aware that we have this put everything on a blockchain thing. There's probably hundreds of use cases that people are considering applying this technology to. But one of the things that we noticed is that at the root of most of these blockchains is a payment. So if it's trade finance, when the trade is financed, there's going to be a payment. If it's security, the security is going to be purchased, there's going to be a payment. If it's lending, when the funds are borrowed, they're delivered, there's going to be a payment. If it's a smart contract, it's managing someone's money, there's going to be payments. So what we observed is that the main problem at the root of all of these use cases is payments. Good payments make all of these use cases easier. Bad payments make all of these use cases harder.
The main thing is, are you solving customer problems? Are you gaining traction? And do you have product market fit? And that's what we've been about from day one. But it wasn't easy for us to get there. Early on, we tried a whole bunch of things on the blockchain in 2013, a lot of them horrible ideas. But we took a page from Jeff Bezos and Amazon and really boiled it down to what is Ripple going to be good at, and we really picked cross-border payments. And we focused and focused and focused on cross-border payments, and partially because almost every other use case you build upon that's innovative on the blockchain starts with innovating on payments itself. For example, smart contracts. Contracts have been around for a long time. People put it on a blockchain. They called it a smart contract. That's the only thing that's different. What's novel about it is that you can have people run your application around the world without knowing them, without trusting them, because you can pay for it using a digital asset. And that's the innovation. So it comes back to payments as the baseline use case for a lot of other things that will come on the blockchain. But if you don't solve payments first, you can't innovate on top of it. In
the early days of Bitcoin, around 2010, 2011, I think we thought that we were solving the problem of silos. We had this idea that there were payment systems that didn't have a connectivity to each other. There were pools of liquidity that weren't connected. And I think we kind of thought that we were solving that problem with Bitcoin. We thought that we would just connect all of the world's payment systems together by using a common currency. And I think what we discovered is that we actually were solving a different problem and left that problem unsolved. The irony is that we've replicated that problem in trying to solve the problem of payment systems that are siloed, liquidity that's siloed, currencies that are siloed. We built a whole bunch of brand new silos. And so now we have a Bitcoin silo, we have an Ethereum silo, and the challenge is for us to develop protocols that can allow us to make payments across those silos so that we can have payment systems, currencies, and protocols that are optimized for distinct use cases. And I think that's what got Ripple interested in looking at protocols like Interledger that do that. At Ripple, we've been very focused on the variant of the problem that's been facing people since before we started building cryptocurrencies, which is that interoperability in the payment space. I think most of those other problems are more future problems. Maybe atomic swaps is a real-world problem today. But the real-world problem today is payments that are just completely isolated. So we've been focused on Interledger, which is a sort of minimalist protocol just to complete a payment across ledgers that doesn't care whether those ledgers are conventional banking ledgers or whether they're digital asset ledgers. And we focused on XRapid, which is a protocol that connects fiat currencies, live remittance payments through digital assets that are public liquidity pools.
What I'd say about that is that the technological limitations of Bitcoin are real. The slow transaction speed, the problems in closing transactions and writing blocks that sometimes takes 20 minutes or more, that makes it unusable in a modern payment global economy.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that, you know, my company's based a lot of our technology using XRP, which will do 2,000 to 4,000 transactions a second.
Right.
That suddenly makes things possible. So I think that you know, the store of value argument and the functionality of our argument, we're so early, in such early days, there's so much store of value conversation. As an investor, you know, when I was a money manager, I would never, I just don't like store value investments. I think buying gold, I realize people have done it for centuries, but it seems like a really stupid investment to me. Yeah. You're only buying it with the notion that someone's going to, you know, greater fool theory. And I think that cryptocurrencies, if their only function is store of value, it's ridiculous. And it doesn't make any sense that there are that many fools around, although certainly there are a lot of fools around. But I think that when and if there is a proven functionality around moving value digitally, and I think we're doing that at Ripple. We've moved over, you know, $1 billion across borders. We've got 100 banks that are actively using our software and to move value across borders in a very inefficient global banking system. Then you've got a solution. You've got something that will create intrinsic value, as will other developers on the platform.